So in this video I want to show you the kitchen that we used for the project house, how we designed it using a tool supplied by the company who supplied the kitchen, and how this made it such an easy process. So I'm going to walk you through that whole process. If you haven't already subscribed to the video, or should I say this channel, then we are heading towards 1,000 subscribers. Currently at the time of recording this video that we had 905 subscribers, so can you help us quickly get to that 1,000 mark? I'd really appreciate it, and I hope you like this video. Hi, my name is Jim J. Davidson and I'm a property developer. I first got involved in property in 1973 at the age of 16 when my brother and I purchased a flat in the student area of Edinburgh. My current company, Fineside Developments, was established in 2003 and we completed our first new build in 2006. This channel is really dedicated to providing you some of the things that I have learned along the way. I'm not an expert. I don't profess to know everything, but what I do know I hope will help you on your property journey. For context, we are in the build it phase and the fix stage. So for our kitchen we used a company called DIY Kitchens, and not to be confused with B&Q, whose website address is diy.com. So DIY Kitchens is a company based in Pontefract in Yorkshire. And it's the first time I've used them, and I have to say I've been very impressed with the quality of their product. What I particularly like about them is that the cabinets come fully assembled, so even including the doors. Now most other suppliers you will have to attach that, so that's obviously a bit of labour saving time in that, but it means that you've got a solid start to your kitchen and it's fairly easy to put together. Their ordering process is very simple, and they really help you with the design. So in a moment I'm going to show you that, but first of all, one thing I would like to say is the customer service was very good. I had a problem with one of the worktops had been damaged. It was several weeks before I was able to report that, because the kitchen just lay there while we were waiting for it to be installed. And when the joiners came to do it, we discovered that it was in fact damaged. And this was a fairly sizable worktop, because it was for the island unit, had been custom made, and therefore was certainly not cheap to replace, which they did with no quibble, and we received it and was able to put the new worktop in place. So let's have a look at, first of all, they have two websites. So this is the website here, which will show you the various things. So they've got a selection of different kitchen types, as you can see here, and you can see various pictures of mock-up kitchens that they've done, available in different color schemes. Which is kind of nice, because you're able to, by just clicking on these buttons here, see what the different colors are. And so there's quite a selection there. They then give you an idea of the different units that they do, the different door styles that they do, and currently it's showing appliances. However, the problem with appliances is that they are temporarily not doing appliances, as you'll see from this notice here, due to the COVID restrictions. They don't get enough consistent supply. So in fact, when we came to order it, although I had originally ordered it with appliances, they had already discontinued that service, and so at some point they will bring that back, which was a bit of a shame, because it meant that the whole thing was one package, and so therefore I had to find an alternative supply for the appliances. Nevertheless, all the appliances were ordered separately and they fitted, so there was no problems there. And then they give you the different types of sinks that they do. I don't know what happened there. Worktops, various handles, and you also have the availability to be able to get some samples from them of the different types of worktops and doors. And in fact, we ordered a couple of doors samples. You have to pay postage and packaging for them, you have to pay for the samples, but when you receive your kitchen or you return the samples, then you don't have to, they give you a refund on that. So that's just really more of a deposit while they process that. So that's the first website, which I say is DIY Kitchen. So it's diy-kitchens.com. So now we come to the second website, which is where you're able to plan your kitchen. So if we just have a look at the various pages within this, you'll see that they have various styles. They give you representative values. So you can see their kitchens are starting from, I believe, £900, going up to about £1,700, £1,800, depending on the style of kitchen. Clearly that's dependent on the units that you use and the additional items, but that is just a representative in terms of the base cost. They also have another tab which gives you various pieces of advice. In other words, things like the distance between units that you need to allow if you've got an island unit, and things that you need to be thinking about. So here we come to the existing plan, the room setup, and you will notice that these items here are marked in red, and it's because there's some certain warnings, and what it really is that these items are not currently available, but clearly when we ordered them they were. This is actually the size of the room, but if we go to plans here, you can see that you can actually you have options so as that you can actually create a duplicate of the plan. So what we're going to do is start a new plan, and we will call this the Lyric plan, or just Lyric should I say, and that's create a blank page here for us. The first thing that we need to do is to decide on our room. So it gives you some sample room shapes in case you've got a room that is of a non-standard size or design, should I say, like L shapes. We have pretty much a square or oblong. It's pretty much doesn't really matter. So the first thing it's asking us to do is to put in the ceiling height here. So we do that. It's asking us then for the distance of this wall here, which is 4,400. So we set that there. This is showing as 5,000, which happens to actually be the size of our room. So that's pretty much almost a square box. So the next thing we want to do is to put in anything that is already there. In this case we have some patio doors, and so the size of that is 2,000. We'll accept the default there, and we then need to position those patio doors, which is up here. It's from this wall here, it is actually 800, so you can actually slide this across, but it's kind of difficult to actually get it to match to that. So a much simpler way to do it is just to simply type in the figure here, and it will then set that to 800. This then becomes by default 1,600 to give you the total room size here. We have some then additional windows. So we have a smaller window to the side here. It's 800. We'll accept the height as 1,000. As you see here, it has a guide to help you know where the measurements are to be taken from, and the floor height. Now in fact I'm not sure if this is exactly the floor height there, but we'll leave it as that because I'm not at the property at the moment in order to be able to put that in place. So we then drag this, now what's happened there is because this is sitting over the room dimensions here, if you change this figure here it will actually change the size of the room dimensions, so you just want to exit out of that. And perhaps the easiest thing here would be just to change the sizing here. So from this wall to the window, it is 2100. So we just set that there, and we now need to just put that in place. I have to go back there again and do that as it moved. Okay, so that's where our window is there. And then on the other side here we have a door. It's actually a double door, but it doesn't allow us to put that in there. So in fact what I'm going to do is I'm going to put double the size of the door. So the doors were 726, so that would be 1452. And we will make this, it opens inwards and it is a right hand turn, and so this is actually, again, you see what it's doing here, so we just need to exit out of that. We will put in the measurement is from this wall, which is only 300, and I've got that opening the wrong way, so I shall just, there we go. So it's now opening inwards, but clearly it's not, and actually I need to alter that because this has changed again. It doesn't open this way, it's obviously, it has a parting there, so it will only open half and half there. However, the main kitchen is in this area here, so that doesn't cause us any problems. If you had any radiators, then you would put them in there. Any internal walls that you may want to put in, any beams that may be causing issues that you need to know about in order to put different things onto the plan. We had none of those, so we will then come out of this, and we now have our room shape. And so the next thing that we want to do is to configure this room with appliances and units. So the first thing you're going to do is to choose your kitchen style. So you just basically work down this list here. So we choose the different kitchen style, and as you will see here, it gives you some representations of different kitchen styles. So we'll take this one here, and as you will see, you can actually select different types and it will populate the picture, so it'll give you some impression of what it's going to look like. So we'll go for this style here, and then we'll go for a worktop. Again, you will see the different price ranges of worktops, quartz, Delcon and granite being the more expensive ones, and the cheapest being laminate. So we're just going to select a laminate worktop, oxy grey. So we're going to add the kitchen units, and the first thing we're going to use put in is the larder cupboard. So we go to tall units, and it's just basically drilling down through the different menu items. Larder unit, and then it gives you various options from single door to double door. We'll just select this one. I'm not sure if this is exactly the one, so some of this may not go entirely to plan. However, it's put the larder unit in there, and we now just drag it into position. This can be sometimes a little bit of a fiddle, but there we go, it's in place. So that's the larder unit in place. So now we are looking for the appliance housings, and we will come to, it's for cooking, it's a double oven. And in fact what we had was a double oven and a microwave, so they don't seem to have that currently available. So we'll just select this one here, and we will choose that. Again, some of these sizings may not quite work, however we're going to put that in there. So a microwave oven, so it may also allow us to do that as well. I'm not really quite sure. To plan. So we will then put that housing in here. Clearly in this example I'm trying to replicate the kitchen that we already designed. Obviously you'll be starting afresh, so it wouldn't really matter. Then we want to put in the sink here, and we're going to have a filler unit, so we shall go for a smaller base unit. And the size of the base unit is going to be 400. So we'll add that to the plan. And then we are now going to put in our base unit for our sink. So it gives us options whether we want to have them under-mounted sinks, a Belfast type sink, or over the top of the counter sink. So we actually had a composite sink. So when we used that, and it was had a small 1.5 unit. It's now asking us to put in the unit for that. It's not going in a corner, so we are going to want something with a double door. And this unit, I believe, was actually a single unit, which is we're going to put here, and the sink will go there. And the reason it's a single unit, as you'll see there, it doesn't cover the whole of the sink, is we then put a dishwasher underneath that part of the sink. So it was a fully integrated dishwasher, so we'll choose that there. And the size was a 600. So that then goes underneath the sink here and falls into place, and as you can see now, that extends over the edge of the sink. Now we come to the corner, so we're going to put in a corner unit, a standard corner unit there without any units there, and again that's 1,000. So we shall put that into there, and we now find if it's going to fit, and it fits. So that's great. And then we're going to have a double under the counter unit coming out of here, and so again we add in a single base unit, and that is going to be 1,000 wide, and that goes in there. Okay. And now we also had a freezer. It was an American style freezer, and again it doesn't really matter because they're not supplying them, so we will just take this freezer here, and that goes in beside that unit there. And as you'll see, there's still plenty of room from the door. So in addition to that, we had an island unit in here. So what we're going to do is select a pan drawer set here. And we had basically a 3 set draw here. So this was in here, and it was 1,000 wide. So we put that onto the plan there, and we're just going to position that fairly central there. We may have to make an adjustment, but you see, if you bring this too close, you're going to get a warning sign telling you that that's too close there, so you have to bring it out until you at least get beyond that warning sign. So bring it basically in line here with that. And then this is going to be a fairly small island unit, so we're going to then put a couple of units either side that. So it's going to be a couple of small 300 units. You'll see we need to move that across because it's too close to the freezer. So let's just move that, the fridge freezer, should I say. Okay, so that's fine. That seems to be fine there. And then we've got an additional unit to add in. As you see, I'm not slick at this. I'm not doing it all the time. And if it's your first time, then hats off to you if you manage to do that. And then in addition to that, we're now going to need a unit in here, which is going to be our gas hob. So we again go to our appliances, it's cooking, and we want a hob. So we're going to have a gas hob here. In fact, because of where we were, we actually had to have Calor gas type situation because we're in the country. But we can put that there. There is going to be a countertop that has to be specially made. As you remember me saying at the beginning, we had a damaged wound countertop and that had to be specially made. Because that would extend further out here to give you a breakfast bar. And above this, we're going to have a cooker hood. And so we will select this one here, which is showing us as island ones. It's not the type that we had, but nevertheless. So I can't seem to get that to snap into place. I'm not really quite sure how to do that. As I say, I didn't have that issue before. Anyway, it gives us our appliance list there. So now we're going to add our wall units in here, and so we will go to kitchen units. We're going to look for the corner wall unit first of all, standard corner. It was 900 wide, so we'll add that to the plan. And that's going to go in here if it behaves. Yep. And then we are going to have beside that a 300 unit, so wall unit there, standard, and it's a 300 unit. And then we want finally a 600 unit. And finally we want another unit which is going to be 1,000 wide. And that then fits in there. So we have corner units here, we have the base units here, and we have our island unit here, a bit not looking all that good in that respect, but nevertheless it works out well. Then if we go to the product listing, we will find that it has listed all the items that we have selected here. But what is actually really good about the whole of this design is there's lots of additional bits that is very easy to forget to add in, and they do this for you. So you will see that they have allowed for different end panels, filler panels where you need them. So it really covers everything that you need. And then you have the options. You want them soft closing doors. It's calculated the number of handles that you need for each of the units, and it's calculated the amount of worktop that you needed. It's included there a breakfast bar, and then it's got again the listing of appliances that you've added there. The reason it's coming up choosing there because you don't have the option at the moment to choose those items, but these are items that you're going to need. And so therefore you can see that the total cost of the kitchen without the appliances is £2,123, which is pretty good price, I would say, plus VAT of course. But if you are a developer, self-builder, of course you're able to reclaim that VAT. So it's only if you are remodeling in an existing house that then you're going to have to pay that VAT. So again, quite a nice benefit there. Of course, that's not the total cost of a kitchen. In the kitchen you are going to have to put in tiling, so this was all tiled here. It was then tiled from here around here, all the exposed areas on the walls. In addition to that, they also had to be fitted, has to be painted, and then you've got lighting as well, which goes into the kitchen. And then what we actually did was we put strip lighting underneath these cabinets here just to give us some additional lighting, and this was just done with a fairly simple process of LED lights and looks very, very effective. So that fundamentally is the kitchen. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more videos, then click to watch the next video. Please remember to visit our website at builditandprosper.com, Together app, or click on the button on the YouTube header if you're on desktop.